Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Since the last episode, I have set up an additional 2 rail grids so that we could start to set up a copper smelting area. So what I did is I just basically came out far enough to grab this copper patch here. This one's got 24 million ore, so this should last us for quite a while. I've already covered it with mining drills and belts and everything. I've got 281 mining drills on there, so that should give us, with all the copper we need for, I would say, for the next the next few hours of gameplay at least. More than that, I mean, until we really start scaling things up. Now the rail did overlap the mining patch somewhat, which I think is not really such a problem. Yeah, I can't move these power poles, so this little part right here didn't get covered. So just so we don't feel bad about it, what I'm going to do is grab an ore eraser, and if I hold down Shift, is there any there? No. There. Gone. All right, and it said somewhere that if I drop this on the ground, it'll disappear. But that's clearly not the case. I don't want that dumb thing in my inventory. All right, I'm going to make a box for the sole purpose of destroying this thing. What else do I have to get rid of? Nothing really. Everything else is fairly useful. Okay, there we go. So in any case, we've got the rail, grid anyway. We've got the copper mining. So we could set up the copper smelting right here, but my thinking is maybe we could just set it up here and then we won't have to bring in any copper, at least for a while. And we won't have to export any copper for a while. We could just put the smelting here and then have a station to move the plates. But I also wanted to use this opportunity to try to come up with a better layout for the smelting area as kind of a prototype. So maybe a better idea would be to put copper here and then just run this over with belts. And then when this is mined out, we can use that square for something else. So why don't we do that? All right, so I'm going to, yeah, I have a stop here, which is not where I would normally put a stop, but I just needed some place to be able to navigate to. Because one of the things I didn't really think of that is making things a little bit difficult is that driving your train manually through here is kind of hard, because if you want to go straight, you have to go right and then left really quick in order to get across there. So driving through here at high speeds manually is really not very feasible. Oh, the other thing is I did make a gunship, and this thing is pretty sweet. It does have a trunk. It can hold some stuff, not a ton, but that's okay because I haven't been using that stuff anyway. And it has a grid, so we can put roboports in there eventually. In fact, maybe I can make some roboports and solar panels and stuff, kind of like I have in my power armor. And the other good thing about this is that it goes a lot faster than the cargo plane. Now the drawback is that it takes longer to come to a stop. But I have decided to replace my cargo plane with this thing because it's pretty nice. I like the speed, and I think it'll be cool to add roboports to it later. Okay, so let's start on the copper. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was to have multiple stations bringing in copper ore. So I'm going to try to design it like that, even though I'm not going to bring them in by train. I at least want to try to lay it out to do that. So let's imagine that we're going to bring ore in from the top. And while we're here, let me throw down another radar. Since we're getting outside of radar coverage, I'll just put it here. There we go. And that'll start scanning more huge area. I hope I'm not letting the map get too big and hurting my FPS. FPS is fine right now, by the way. Okay, so I think the closest we could do would be like right here. Okay, if we were just going to do like a simple entrance, I would say. All right, now to make that 8 long, I can copy this, and that's going to be essentially this station. I'm going to remove the constant combinator because I don't want to blueprint this down and then immediately have a train trying to bring me some ore. Okay, so this could go like that. That's strange. The bulk rail loaders didn't seem to want to blueprint very nicely. Iron 1 to main iron ore. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my iron ore station back at the main base, which is working pretty well, by the way. And this patch is getting more and more depleted. We're down to 16.8. Looks like our stone patch is starting to go down, so we'll have to get a stone station set up there too. All right, so what I'm interested to see is if we could set up a system where, let's say the ore comes in, it feeds into furnaces here, and then feeds into a station to pick up the plates over here. I don't think there's going to be enough room to do this, to have multiple stations come in here like this. The problem is how far away from the side we have to put this. It's much more space efficient to do it like I'm doing over here. Now what I could do is I could have two input stations and 2 output stations, or better yet, no, that would be good. Well, yeah, because the plates stack in hundreds and ore stacks in 50s. So I really need 2 trains. With no productivity, I need 2 trains of ore for every train of iron. Now when I add productivity, then it's going to be more like, like 1.5 trains of ore for a train of plate. Probably less than 1.5. So, yeah, so, I think I'm going to have to stick with this style of station. But before we give up on it, though, let's just try to lay it out and see what we get. All right, so here's a single mining unit, right? Or smelting unit. We need 8 of these. So what if we laid them out like this? Right, so leave a little bit of room. I'm going to turn off my roboports and, yeah, come off of my nanobots because I don't want this to actually build. I just want to ghost it down. All right, and then 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's 4. If I copy that again, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that would be 8. Maybe we could do it. Let me blueprint this minus these belts here. There we go. Okay, no, I'll leave that there because maybe I can bring another one on the other side and come close. No, on the other side it would have to be pretty much in the same spot. So that's not possible. The train's too long. It would be cool if they could come in from opposing sides and then just barely touch in the middle. Okay. Yeah. I know what we can do. We can do that. All right, so what if we... I'm not sure how we would manage these belts. But the other thing that we could do is have this feed into two different unloading stations from the same entrance and exit. The exit would be tricky. Yeah, that's not... I'm not too happy with that, to be honest. I think this is just not practical. You know, I feel kind of silly because I was... Whoops. All right, let me get rid of this. No, stop doing that. I feel kind of silly because I was really interested in using double-headed trains on this playthrough, and now I'm starting to build a base that doesn't really need double-headed trains. You know, except for perhaps like in faraway mining outposts that are not going to be part of the grid. Well, I mean, I suppose that's not a big deal, right? At least by using double-headed trains, I have the option to use them when I want, and otherwise I'll use looping trains. All right, I'm just doing some mining productivity research here, as you can see. I'll continue to do that. Okay, so I think we'll essentially set this up just like we have over here, except I am going to attempt to make this work with 2 input stations and 2 output stations. I would like to find the center. And I'll be able to do this easily in map view. This power pole is in the middle, right? So I'll go, let's say, to the bottom part of the power pole, and I'm just gonna ghost place that down. right? And then that would be the other part of the middle. And then down here, this is middle. There. Okay. So this is the center of the grid. So I'm going to see if I can set it up so that the mining setup is precisely in the center. All right, so that means the 11th miner, 4 per side, and the 11th miner. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. All right, so that's about as close to the center as we can get it. And how does that compare with how we built it over here? Not quite sure. All right, so I'll just build out as much of this as I can. I did not bring furnaces with me, so I'm going to have to go back and get some of those. I'll help these guys out with some of the belts. All right, so we're going to be sacrificing by using double-headed trains when we don't need to. We're going to be gaining flexibility at the expense of train speed. You know, because the disadvantage of the double-headed train is that only 2 of the locomotives are providing power at any given moment, depending on which direction you're traveling. Now, the other thing that we could do is if we end up having a lot of 2-headed trains that are pretty much dedicated to serving routes that have loops, you know, that only go in one direction, we could always we could take the 2 engines at the back and we can reverse their direction so that we have 2 trains in front and 2 trains in the back, both pushing in the same direction. That could work too. And then that would give us better acceleration and speed. Where's my train? Oh, okay. I left it over here. I think I might have furnaces in the train. Let's go take a look. Yeah, I do have some. I doubt I have a lot. Okay, there's a few. I need 176, so I'll put in a logistics request for 200. I'm going to need a lot more inserters, so I'll put in 300 blue inserters. Okay, there's a lot of lights. Power poles, I should have a couple hundred of those. All right, so let's get 200 of those. Oh, and 1,000 belts. Well, I've already put down a lot of belts, so I think my normal request of 400 should give us the rest of what we need. All right, so let's take the train. Actually, before we go, I'm just going to throw down another temporary stop. We'll call this copper smelting temp. All right, let's go back to the main. Drinking some of my coffee here. So, yeah, hopefully you guys are okay with the fluid nature of my design strategy. You know, I start off with an idea of what I want to do, and then as I get into it, I get other ideas, or I realize that my first idea is not going to work. But honestly, to me, that's part of the fun. I like having the challenge of a constantly evolving design target. I think it would be kind of boring if you never had to change your plan and all you're doing is just building according to a spreadsheet. That's actually kind of what I did in my Factorio 0.16 Let's Play series. It was, I designed it well enough at the beginning that I pretty much, all I had to do was just build what had been designed. And it wasn't terribly interesting the whole time I was building. I want to set up Nixie tube production, and I was just seeing if there was some place where I was already making iron sticks that I could shoehorn it in. Perhaps I could do it here. Oh, what else do I need? I also need iron plate. Okay, I think we can make this work. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Pick up down there. And then we just need to get iron plate in. Let's see. Pick up way over there and drop off there. Nice. All right, and then I can put my output right there. Whoa, I'm completely full. I have too many mining drills. Actually, I don't need any mining drills right now. Okay, and then we'll have this, make 50 of them. And then, why is this stopped? Oh, that requires quite a lot of iron sticks. Okay, and then I'll put in a request for 50, so I always have a stack of them with me at all times. Okay, great. Let's go back and finish what we were doing. All right, so we're going to add copper smelting temporary. No, let's make that circuit condition. There we go. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll set up, oh, I should have got the, I should have grabbed the bulk rail loaders while I was there. I forgot about that. Okay. Well, we can blueprint it down, and I can go back and pick up the stuff that I don't have with me. All right. My bots don't have any charge, so I'm not sure how quick this is going to go, but we'll find out. The bots are actually not doing too bad for me not having any battery. I guess the roboports are probably already loaded. Okay, and I'm going to cancel that request. And I'm going to turn this back to 100 because after this I'm not going to need crazy quantities of that stuff. Okay. Is that everything? Okay, good. So that's completely built out. All right, so let's add some stations. So I'm going to copy this loading station, and I'm not going to copy the balancer just yet. So let me just copy this part. I'm going to grab that signal just to help me locate it in the right place, and I'm going to remove all the belts for now. I will leave the loaders, and I'm going to remove that combinator so I don't get the settings that are going to be asking for iron. Okay, and then so we could put the first loading station here, and we could put the okay. I think the bulk rail unloaders are what are preventing. Oh no, it's the Nixie tubes. The Nixie tubes are preventing me from laying down or from rotating that blueprint 90 degrees. All right, so because they can't rotate 90 degrees. So let me grab that again. And then I'm going to delete the Nixie tubes. And then I should be able to rotate it. Yeah, there we go. Whoops. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so those will be the two loading station, or unloading, and then loading can be on the other two sides. And I'll have to figure out somewhere to throw in a passenger station. Okay, so this is the loading station. And I'll do it from signal to signal. Again, I will remove the belts for now. I'll leave everything else in place. And I'm going to remove the Nixie tubes. And I'm going to remove that constant combinator. Okay. So that one goes there. And this one goes there. Okay, so this will give us a 2 in and 2 out smelting station. I'm not sure if we're going to need 2 out, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe I should just have 2 in and 1 out. I'm not sure which is better, to be honest. I guess we'll set it up with 2 in and 2 out for now. And if we decide later that we want to disable the second output station, then we can just remove it. Because by having all the output go to 2 stations, they're going to load twice as slowly. So it'll take twice as long, because essentially we're going to have 2 trains worth of material before any trains are going to come to pick up from either one. Now the alternative would be that we could set it up so that we feed one station first, and then only when that one's full do we feed the other one. That might be a good idea. In fact, I think that is a good idea. I think we'll set it up like that. So we'll have like 1A and 1B, and we can set them up so that we only start to fill 1B after we've already got, like, 2 trains worth in 1A, for example. Okay, what are we missing? Well, we're missing a lot of loaders and steel chests. Whoops. So how many steel chests do I need? I should probably get 100 of those. Whoops. 100, and then we should get, I need a bunch of mini loaders. Oh, I already have those in there. Okay. And then I'm going to need some of the red loaders. Okay. So we've reached our time limit, so I'm going to finish building this up. And then what we can do is we can bring these belts over and go directly into the bulk rail unloaders from the belts. In fact, we'll just go to this one here. Well, no, we should split it. I'll split it. So half will go here, half will go here. And then we can set these up to receive copper and everything. But I just won't have any pickup stations for copper ore until we need more copper than what this can provide. Then we can set up, in fact, I'll probably put the next grid right here so we can mine stone and copper. And then from this copper, we can send a train to take copper here. All right, so I'll work on setting that up between now and the next episode, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.